American poet Susie Kassem once said, "Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will." When I first came across this quote, it immediately struck me how true that has been in my own life. So many times I can remember experiencing disappointments or missed opportunities, not because I tried and failed, but because I doubted myself, and I allowed my doubts to hold me back. I was so afraid of failure that I never gave myself a true opportunity to succeed. Today, I'm going to be talking about how our mindset impacts the way we experience failure and the way we respond to new opportunities. Specifically, I will be going over 3 common negative mindsets regarding failure, a 4th positive way of thinking about failure, and some practices which can help us to reframe our thinking in the face of failure. All of us experience and respond to failure in a slightly different way. In 2024, the South African College for Applied Psychology defined 4 categories into which common responses to failure typically fall. These 4 categories are overstriving, failure accepting, failure avoiding, and success-oriented mindset. People with overstriving tendencies are constantly pushing themselves to their limits, working overtime not only to avoid failure, but also to prove themselves through their successes. People who are failure avoiding, on the other hand, hesitate to step outside of their comfort zone. In their opinion, it is better not to participate at all than to try something new and risk having their mistakes reflect poorly on them. People who are failure accepting internalize their failures to the extent that they no longer believe they have the capability to succeed. These people, when presented with a new opportunity, often believe from the outset that they are destined for failure, and because of this, don't put forth genuine effort towards success. All 3 of these mindsets have something in common. These people all believe that their failures are a direct reflection of their self-worth. Because of this, their failures impact them very negatively. Some research has been done on this type of thinking, and in a 2013 article from the National Institute of Health, it was explained that these types of mindsets, when held over a period of time, can cause severe psychological and mental health issues, contributing to disorders such as anxiety and depression. A 2019 article, also from the National Institute of Health, explained that this is especially true of young adults, who are more directly impacted by each experience they have. But the habits and mindsets we have when we are young can impact our attitudes and behaviors far into the future. So it is important to recognize our habits and to be intentional about the mindsets we hold. The 4th mindset category, defined by the South African College for Applied Psychology in 2024, is the success-oriented mindset. People with this type of mindset are able to effectively separate their mistakes from their sense of self-worth. Because of this, they are able to view their failures as positive learning experiences. When they experience failure, it shows them what doesn't work, and by this, leads them closer to the path to success. This is a much healthier way of thinking about failure. But unfortunately, many of us tend to fall into one of the earlier 3 categories, at least most of the time. So how might we go about reframing our thinking so that our failures can become positive learning experiences? The Society for Human Resource Management in 2025 suggested several practices which may help us to do this. The first of these practices is awareness, taking a moment to recognize how you are feeling and how you are responding in a given situation. This can help you to process these emotions and then to more effectively analyze the facts of the situation, which leads us to the second practice, which is reflection. Asking yourself questions such as, what exactly went wrong here? Why am I responding the way I am? What could I do better next time? The 3rd practice is perspective, taking a step back and recognizing that this failure is only one moment in your life and does not have to define your entire story. When we engage in these practices, it can help us to think critically about our experiences and to respond in a way that helps rather than hinders our future potential for success. I have now been over the 3 common negative mindsets regarding failure, a 4th positive way of responding to failure, and several practices which can help us to reshape our thinking so that our failures become positive learning experiences. I would now like to challenge each of you. Next time you are faced with failure or the fear of failure, consider whether your behaviors and responses may be falling into one of these 4 categories. And take a moment to engage in some of these practices of awareness, reflection, and perspective, remembering that it is our mindsets and not our mistakes which define us. Thank you.